Tell me us a deal breaker, and then something that you want personally in your.
Um, I think that honesty, of course, is always important. Honesty and trust is always important. And I think the other part, man, is just, you know, it's funny. Like number one, I guess someone who's witty or smart. I've dated, you know, in the past, you may have dated somebody who looked really good, and then you got to explain every joke to her. You got to, like, it's the worst, right? So like, you deal with that, or the other part too, I think, is somebody who's just nice, like genuinely nice. And you know, it's funny, you know, you have somebody who's nice to you, but you start going around other people, you realize she's not nice to most people. She's not like you getting this special her, but like she's like she can be nice, nasty, or whatever. Like I just like genuinely nice people. It doesn't matter if they're connected to me or not. It could be a stranger. You know, you're easy to get along with. You know, just that personality piece matters to me a lot because you know if we had a restaurant and you got an attitude with the waiter, I can't stand stuff like that. I like just genuinely good-hearted people.
Oh, Anaje, and that's why I chose good hearted to describe you. Because let me tell you something. I did a panel, this won't take too long. I did a panel with 6 amazing men, and marriage came up. And would you know that of the 5 ways to a man's heart, being sweet got 0%? Come on and represent. Men do like sweet. Okay, because this gangster came out and she ain't gone back. So thank you. Being sweet does matter, ladies. All right, let's go ahead and hear from you, Yvette. Tell me us a deal breaker and something that you like.
Okay, a deal breaker for me, and I'm only speaking from experience, is if you have not dealt with your traumas. Cause that
Ooh, I would get up if I didn't have no sweatpants on. Baby, I'm telling you.
yeah. For
Tell
me,
us.
that's like a really big deal because people carry that baggage and trauma with them through life for a very long time. And that begins to show up in your relationship. And you can start off all good. And then you turn around and you're like, well, who is this person? And you're dealing with a broken person who has not dealt with trauma. So for me, it's difficult because when you're getting to know somebody, they may not want to be that transparent and open and lay it all out. Like, this is something I'm dealing with. But it's just like at this point in my life, there's certain things I just don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? And pros for me, consistency. If we can have fun, be loyal, transparent, like all of the good stuff is what I want.
Yvette, I have to comment on something you said for many reasons. One, the month of May, we are doing a purpose conversation episode on men and their emotions, men and mental health, a little plug there. The other thing is, with a background, having worked as a therapist and a coach, I think I'm grateful that you shared that. But I also want to kind of just caveat, put something in there that a lot of times people don't realize what their trauma is, you know? So that
That's true.
emotional intelligence, that ability to come ready and healed already. I love that you said that, and that's a desire of yours. And I know, you know, just knowing you, that that's something you put forth. So I'm grateful that you touched on that because it's something that we are going to talk about, and it's not often
Yes.
talked about. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Harry, your turn. I didn't forget. I wrote y'all names down on the slide. Keep this potty going.
I think everybody pretty much touched on it. Inconsistency, not being honest. Um, I'll add not being a participant. Like I feel like you can't lay in the cut when it comes to dating. Like you gotta be a part of it.
Mm.
Just sit back and just try to wait for everything to come to them. And
Oh,
yeah,
Harry. So I have to ask this. What do you mean exactly? Are you saying that you want a woman to initiate a tad while you're dating? Is that what you mean?
well, I'm talking about something that's different from initiating. I think that's a different conversation. I'm just saying
Okay.
that if we are in dialogue, you have to, or if we are engaging, you have to be a part of that engagement.
Okay.
Calls, you know, text calls, being responsive, coming up with
Mm-hmm.
ideas too, you know,
Mm-hmm.
spending time with one another. Um, but then the other thing I'll add is if it's somebody that you've been dating for a while and that you're considering marriage, then I would think that some deal breakers I like to say are like the four major things: kids, money, boundaries with family, and religion. Those are some deal breaker things.
Okay, I love that. And that's a good segue because I'm gonna jump in the interest of time, continue to jump to our audience questions. And one of them was whether or not, and this is to the women, because Harry, you just talked about marriage. Women, do you feel, any of you, any societal or cultural pressures to get married and or have children? And if so, how does that make you feel? So this is to the women, and I have one for the men next. Ladies, do you feel any societal or cultural pressures?
I'm
No.
sorry.
Oh, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kristen.
I didn't when I was around 30. I felt myself giving myself the pressure. I thought that this was the route that you have to take, and this is what you're supposed to do. Now it's the opposite. I'm like, okay, if it'll happen when and if it's meant to be. And I feel like my family and friends are like, girl, you're getting up there, so you're not dating anybody. You want to join an app or two? Can I hook you up? And I'm just like, no. So it's reversed now. I was giving myself all of the pressure. And now I feel like my mom used to be like, take your time and you have all the time in the world and have fun. And every time I told her, there's nobody you dating. So I'm starting to feel a little bit of the pressure. And I know it's because they love me and they want what they think is best for me. And I appreciate that. So.
Yay. Thank you for sharing. Shanti?
You want to have kids?
Oh, come on. Hold up. Do you want to have kids?
I want to have kids. So
this want to be married and have kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do desire to be married, and I tell God, if you give me one successful pregnancy, I'm good with that, whether it's one baby or two.
You better be specific.
And I am open to having a spouse with a child.
Hey.
A child.
The baby mama. But I understand that life happens. We getting older. So, a child, I'll stop there.
I can't get it with ranch dressing on it.
You better be specific. Come on. All right, Shanti.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna kind of piggyback. I've never felt the pressure. I think probably a little bit too on the other side, the extreme of like, my family, even just like growing up, my mom was like, when you go to college, and it's probably because she had me at such a young age. My mom was still in college when her and my dad had me and got married. So it was like, listen, while you're in college, don't settle down, go and live life, go enjoy your life. And I probably took that a little too literally, but I'm just enjoying. I've never felt the pressure. They've never been like, when are you going to get married? When do you have kids? And it's never been that way. It's just, I want things to, again, for me, it's the friendship to organically happen. And I think I put priority on having a very healthy relationship. If it results in a marriage and having kids, that's fine. But I prioritize a healthy, functioning, happy relationship. We're both in it to win it together, and marriage to be like an afterthought. If it happens, yeah, but we go, we partners in it. We in it to win it, and that's just kind of how I look at it. But yeah, definitely no pressure. It's just, it is what it is. And if I am fortunate enough to meet my partner, and then we have the Lord, if it's in the Lord's plan, that's what I'm really aligned to, and however that may look out. But I'm gonna be the best auntie Ashanti ever, as I am now. And I know that I'll probably inherit some kids, and I'll be, with a partner. But again, because due to the age and how life happens with people, and I'm okay with that too. So yeah, but no, definitely no pressure for sure.
Love it. All right, Auntie Shanti, come on. Yvette, do you feel pressure?
No, I do not feel pressure. I do put pressure on myself because now that I'm 32 and now I am finally enjoying like a single moment, I'm like, I feel free. And but then I'm also in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you are 32. How long do you want to enjoy this season? Because you start to think about the clock and how you want to have time to enjoy your mate and do all these amazing things before you start a family with children. So it is me putting pressure on myself, but it's also me having grace on myself to be like, hey, you're in a really good season, a really good time. Enjoy yourself, and whatever is meant to be will be. And so I just like wash my hands to that.
I love it. Come on, ladies. What a beautiful array of chocolate on this here call. I'm digging it. All right, fellas, we're going to give you this question, and I'm going to go in this order. I want Hans, Anaje, Harry. So you ready for this? This is a woman asking you men. Men, why do men start hot and then go cold once you show interest back? The viewer would like to know, AKA ghosting.
Did you say Harry first, right?
I said Hans.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's a ghoster. That's your ghosting
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah.
That thing was
coming
like,
out. Like,
come on, ghost.
I mean, it could be a myriad of reasons, you know. I mean, I'm, you know, just speaking general, you know, I know I have friends, obviously, you know, and a lot of, you know, women friend that I have asked me the same question directly, and what I usually say is never really about them, you know, like, and I know sometimes it's easy for us to be like, well, this person isn't showing the interest that I would like. What am I doing wrong, right? Like, what is it about me, you know? But people have a lot going on in their lives that, you know, could really not. It's just impulse for us to think that it's about us, you know. So if there's any like wisdom I can lend to that, like for me, like I don't know. I mean, you know, we're not machines, you know. Like, we're organic creatures, so sometimes we're hot, sometimes we're cold, you know. And if a situation has our interest, you know, and then, you know, you just never know, you know, what can turn you off, or, you know, it's just hard to really say with like complete certainty, like this is the main reason why guys, you know, their interest wanes. You know, it could be the circle back, you know, like you always, anytime you meet somebody, there's like a window of time to kind of like secure that relationship before one of their ex relationships circles back. Like, you're always, from my experience, you know, like I'm the senior on the panel, and in my journey, you know, I've witnessed it. I know that if I meet a sister and it's popping, I'm like, all right, it's just the universe is gonna test it. And sometimes maybe she passes the test or I don't pass the test, but I don't, you know, kind of point to one thing in particular, like, you know, and I've been on both sides where I'm like, damn, you know, she just disappeared, you know, like it happens to us all. It's not just a.
Okay, because I'm like, Hans, we want to hear, have you ghosted before? Because that question.
I ghosted.
Have you, Mr. Ani? I was trying not to cut you off, but I have to get us.
No. I was deflecting.
I know, I picked it up. So have you ghosted? You ain't gotta say. You don't have to say any names.
I would imagine I have, you know, like I'll take ownership, you know, of my poor behavior. I'm out.
It's all love.
I'm out here with the rest of it. Maybe somebody circle back to me, you know, like, or it's like you just, you know, it's no real easy way to, you know, to be like, hey, look, it was cool, but you probably won't hear from me ever again. And, you know, I just, you know, I think it's important that you know this, you know, like that's not people don't have those conversations. Yeah, I've had, you know, again, where you think like, damn, this was perfect. What happened? You know, and it just kind of, you know, so yeah.
I love how you're sharing your experience of being ghosted, and the question was, fellas, why is it? I'm just kidding. No, but truthfully, this is what I said this to you all on our little prep call. My goal is definitely not to like villainize men or villainize women. So I'm grateful that you're sharing, because this is a woman that asked the men, why do men ghost?
I just want to make it clear, it's not gender specific. Like,
I'm glad.
You know, like people.
Thank you.
Stick a toe in. You know, this ain't my cup of porridge. I'm gonna keep it moving, and you know, it happens. It's part of the game, I guess.
All right. Anaje, how about you? Have you ghosted? You yourself, you, a homeboy, a friend, somebody you know?
I'm laughing because you asked about family and you asked us the dirtbag question that there's no real answer. There's no right answer to this. Like, we're gonna sound bad no matter what.
No, generally, I didn't say tell us the person that you ghosted and why. That's a little too deep. I'm not going that deep.
No, I think that, no, I don't, I think when it comes to, well, it all depends on where you are in a relationship, or if it's even a relationship. Because some people got their feelings hurt if you went out one time when you just didn't like them, right? And then after that, is that considered ghosting? Like, you know, like we didn't like one another. Now, do I need some formal way of getting out of this? you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that happens sometimes too. So I think how you define ghosting, like, because I know plenty of women, if you go out and she don't like you, she's not really gonna be calling you back saying like, hey, you know, that doesn't happen. You just, you know, because you don't get another call back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just in all of this, like in fairness of it all, and us both being human beings with feelings, we both do it to one another. I think it is how you define. Now, if you're actually doing some really messed up things where like you sleeping with women and then not calling them ever again, that's a different type of thing, and that I have not done. But I think that when it comes down to if we go out and I don't like you, I don't, is there like some formal way of getting out of something down that I'm not in? You see what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
it's just, so it's all in managing feelings. I think that's a part that can be exhausting about dating sometimes, because you're having to now manage a stranger's feelings. And you're like, I don't even know you yet, right? And so now I got to manage the fact that if you like me and I didn't like you, and we don't really know each other, and now I got to like, well, how do I tell this stranger that?
Now you got to get counseling to figure out how to just tell the truth, right?
So, I mean, if it's light, it's light. I mean, I understand the other side. Like, that side is messed up. But when it's just, if we're just trying to figure each other out, and when I said something earlier, when I was saying serial dating, it all depends also how you describe dating. If you're saying dating where you actually going out here sleeping with every person you're dating, that's different too. But if you're out here just meeting people, hanging out, going out a little bit, I think those type of conversations are a little bit different as well.
Yeah. You know, I'm so grateful that you said that. So I think I want to tie this into Yvette's point. Yvette spoke about dating men that were emotionally mature and healed from their traumas. And Anaje, you just touched on something that I don't know. I've heard men. I mean, I know my guy friends that have shared that, but having to manage emotions. I think that's a topic in itself of, you know, and it's not gender specific, right, Hans? But the truth is sometimes it's not your job, you know, to try to manage and find the right way. I appreciate that you shared that. I really am. Because I don't think as women, sometimes we are quick to be like, girl, no, he didn't. You know, like he didn't respond, but he might just not be, you know, into you. So I'm glad that you said that. So thank you. Harry? Ghost? I'm scared. Did you ghost me? What do you think?
I'm not really into the ghosting thing, but to answer the question, I think it could be that they're not into you. It could be life. It might not be ghosting. Maybe something that you're interpreting as ghosting. But I think that regardless, if you're interested, you know, you can ask. But I mean, if I've called someone and they say they're gonna call me back and they don't, I might give you one more call. But after that, I don't really give you an opportunity to ghost me. I just kind of cut it off, because at that point, I'm just gonna interpret it as you're not interested. I feel like it's not my job to try to figure out whether I've been ghosted, or that's ghosting. I just give you a couple of opportunities,
and there it is. You know, every time you talk, I just want to light a candle for some reason. Like you just so like, you know, yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I just don't call back. I'm not mad at you. This is a very mature panel. I'm feeling all this grownness. All right, guys. I love it. So I'm going to go to, in the interest of time, I do want to give the audience an opportunity if there are any live questions. But I would like to go to some of the ones that came in as today. And let's ask this first one. So this is a general question to whomever feels led to answer. Regarding the ratio of Black men to Black women, what's your advice to Black women looking for a life partner? Should they date or marry outside of their race? Now, I don't have no ratio or no statistics here for you tonight, but we all can Google real quick. But does anybody have any thoughts on that? And specifically professional, you know, we see the being Mary Janes, we see these narratives about women that are in corporate world or just, you know, at a certain point in life, a certain age group, and they might feel that the ratio is off. So does anybody have any opinions about that?
I'm no expert in how to find them, but I think you like who you like. And I don't think you should block anyone off because of their skin color, because you could really vibe with someone who is the opposite race of you. But just because they're the opposite race of you doesn't mean that you should shun them off. So I just say go for what you like, and just know yourself enough to not care about the judgment that will possibly come with you dating outside of your race. So just do you, boo.
That's an episode in itself, isn't it? The do you, boo. Anybody else have any thoughts? I agree with you, Yvette, on that for sure. You gotta just let love. Look, I'm gonna be like Hans and Harry. Let love rule. You know. You just gotta
I'll say, you can want whatever it is you want, and that's fine, and that covers race or socioeconomic status. I mean, finances, whatever. You can want whatever you want. That's fine, but just try to be realistic. And I would say to ladies, be careful, because single ladies will keep ladies single sometimes. So don't be afraid to not listen to other people who may weigh in on what's going on in your relationship. Talk to your partner.
Single ladies will keep women single. Ladies, remember that. Awesome. I love that. I'm going to move to this next question because this one is a really, really good one, as are all of these. And I don't want the time to run out for you East Coasters and y'all be on here snoozing. How open should you be about other people that you are dating? And I'd like to hear from each one of you. How open should you be? When should you narrow it to one person of focus? Quickly, if you all can answer. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? Oh, wise one, Harry Stevens. It can be quick.
You should be open. You should be completely open and letting the person you're talking to know that you are dating, and you shouldn't narrow until it's understood that you're going to narrow.
Understood by
the last time I narrowed was because she told me that she was not talking to anyone else.
Okay.
She told me she wasn't talking to anyone else. She said I didn't have to stop talking to other people, but she was just letting me know that she wasn't going to talk to anyone else, and that was a signal to me.
Oh, I love that. So, and that triggered you meeting her where she was.
It made me have to think. I had to think about what she said and what I wanted and what I didn't want and how I felt about it. So,
well, I appreciate your honesty, because I think I went too far to the left. I'm like, oh, so you stopped talking to other people too. You had to quickly correct me, put me in my place. I'm sorry about that. It made you think. Amen. All right. Hans, Anajay, we're going to go to you because I feel like Hans needs to simmer on that. Anajay, how open should you be about other people that you are dating, and when should you narrow it to one person of focus?
I think when you really like somebody. And then it's like, okay, so would you be comfortable if she saw you out with somebody else? And if you're not, it's time. You need to go ahead and settle down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if you're out on a date, for example, and she walks up to the table, are you stuttering? Like, are you cool just introducing the two of them? And if not, then it's time. For me personally, though, if I really like somebody, I cut everything else off, and just try to deal with that and see where that goes. But I don't know that that juggling that got the why that gets old, And so if you're trying to, and you risk losing something good possibly too. So it wouldn't be worth it.
If I could interrupt you, I don't know why my laughing spirit just came out. So listen, when women like a man, I don't know that you're ever really comfortable. Like, I just want to point that out there. Like when you're into someone, you're like, oh, well, would she be comfortable? Fellas, if she's comfortable when you just are dating and you see she might not be into you. I just want to point
if you feel that as a guy, if I see her and I feel like I gotta hide this now.
Okay, because I heard it the other way around, and I'm like, well, how does that work? Okay, so if you would have a problem seeing her the next day out with somebody, that's a signal to you. So how open are you if you're dating more? Just to the question, like if you're dating more than one person, should you put that out there and let person A, B, or C all know that you're in the running?
Oh, definitely. You just be honest, the entire time. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you feel like you have to hide something, it's a problem anyway. You might as well just be honest about everything. Yeah. And I mean, if you're just getting to know people, that's something different anyway. That's the part that's easy. I mean, the honest part is the easiest part of it. I think the hard part is sometimes is once again it's that managing feelings thing, because at that point you can't ghost people, right? Like if you've been going out several times with all these people, it kind of becomes different then.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right, Hans, I gave you enough time. Let's do it. I'm gonna get to the ladies. Let you marinate.
Nah, I'm following some pretty wise brothers, so I can't really offer, I guess, much more other than I think for me, I got to a point where I realized that single is not everybody's definition of single ain't the same. So a lot of times when you meet somebody, I kind of, or when I meet somebody, I'll say like, "Are you single? Are you like super single?" Like, because sometimes single could mean like technically single, right? It's like something's still there that's lingering, but we decided or whatever, like there's like a demarcation of whether we're committed or not. And I've stepped into those situations where this person wasn't really available, like they just were kind of occupying their time and using me to do it, and so it's kind of like that's something that I just like to introduce, that sometimes you meet people, they're not even really available, they're just like going out,
space,
just and but I'm personally, I'm really too lazy to kind of manage more than one situation. So the idea, my journey has always been like a tumble, where it's like I may have overlap because I'm just looking, like I'm the search engine is still, my browser is still open,
Okay. And what causes you to clear your cookies and clean that? What causes that? Tell us, to keep one window open, not the private windows.
What causes me to stop is, historically, I'm just speaking from mine. It's not like a universal truth, but I've been blessed to meet a lot of really like really great energy, like women who have been really clear that they wanted to be in my life. I think a lot of men have the same sort of insecurities. Like, we don't know if you're really interested, like, don't call me just to ask me why I didn't call you. Why don't you just call me, and like, I one girl I dated years ago, I kind of knew it was real when she called me, like, because Kobe got arrested, God bless the dead, but this was like years ago. It was like something that she just wanted to share with me. This was like something that, and it just made it clear to me, like, yo, with our bond as friends, like I was the first person in her phone that she wanted to reach out to for this current event, you know what I mean? And it was like, so it's that sort of thing. Like, once the women that have kind of dominated the space have really forced my hand kind of to like close the browser, like, yo, this, they've made it clear to me that they want my time. They want to hear my voice. They want to stay engaged with me. And that kind of lets me know, like, yo, I don't really have the emotional output to kind of offer, because I'm always looking for a best friend, like I keep that space occupied. That space is available, like, so if you can sit into that space, if you step there, then we're good. Like, because if we're best friends, you'll know that something else is popping, like you'll see the inconsistencies, the energy, so that's it. I'm just looking for that sort of never ending dialogue,
Hey man, you're not trying to pressure her. She don't even need to be your girlfriend, huh? You just want to know her name.
I just want to know her name. Yeah.
All right, I had to do that just for you. And you know what, Hans? I want to tell you to clear your history, to clear your cache, to clear your
clear my cookies out.
Clear your cookies.
Yeah, right. I need to.
Clear. All right, Kristen, ladies, we're going to do this quick because I think ladies might have a quick and to the point about this one. Do you let those fellas know, those men know, that you're dating more than one person at that time?
Yes.
Kristen, would you share?
Yeah, I have. I don't believe in taking away somebody's choices. Like, I think that would be very selfish of me to not be honest with them. And I think that is one of the reasons, one of the purposes of dating is getting to know someone and let them decide if they want to continue to build a relationship. So I think the question was, when do you decide if you want to be exclusive?
Well, no, it just asks how open should you be about other people, and this is I'll actually add that in there. How open are you? Are you descriptive in terms of the types of? I know we have a lot of great responses about friendship and all of that, but we all know there's a spectrum. Okay, there's your main boo, there's the one that you waiting on that text or call, and then there's the one, good morning, beautiful. You're like, good morning, heart. Like, so do you share the range of of what you're experiencing with these beautiful, wonderful men?
With them?
With the person, the people, with each other.
No. I don't think they need to know the details of like,
Okay.
like that's
Okay.
so much.
You
But
just let them know that there is a running.
Yeah, if I am dating someone else other than them, but I don't think they need to know I'm getting good morning. Hey, boo, text is from somebody else. Like,
Okay.
I agree, Chris. It's about just being open. Like,
yeah.
It's actually for Black women, I think historically, I don't want to speak out of turn about this, but we don't really know how to date. Like, we kind of just go in, we like someone, and it's all about that person. And so allowing yourself to get to know other people. And again, it's not about having, numbers and fill up a starting five lineup, but it's also about like getting to know other people and seeing how things organically evolve. And if you're leaning towards someone else, one person, then let it be. But if not, it's okay to have friends. Like, I'm very open about that. Like, in this space that I'm in, I'm enjoying the getting to know, meeting new people, and it's a great thing. Like, I welcome it. It's been good to me from being in a historically long-term relationship slash situationship slash thing. And so this is just freeing, allowing myself to get to know people, and just have fun. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm try to be very present in that moment. And it is what it is. If we connect, great. And again, if we don't, it's all good too. Like, we gonna keep it moving. And I wish you nothing but the best, boo, because I'm definitely gonna get the best. And so it's not no hard feelings. It's all good. And it's just like all love. But yeah, no, it's just I ain't gotta tell you all what I'm, everything that I'm doing. That's silly. That's just two way. And it ain't quite frankly, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
It's just, I got friends. Here's what it is. But you worry about you. You shoot your shot. You stay in your lane. And then listen, if it's reciprocated, if it organically happens, then that's what it's gonna be. So you run your race. Stay in your lane. That's just what that is.
Run your race, stay in your lane, shoot your shot, clear your cookies. I hope y'all taking notes. Yvette, what about you? And then we're gonna get our last question and allow these goodbyes to ring true to us tonight.
Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm not a multi-dater, so I've never had to have that conversation like, oh yeah, I'm talking to multiple people. I have been approached while in transition. So in that area, I have been extremely transparent. Well, yeah, I'm recently out of a relationship. Don't really know if we're going to get back together. Don't really know if we're done. I've been honest about that. But my intentions moving forward, as Ashanti said, when I get back in the dating scene, I'm definitely going to be transparent. I'm like, hey, got a date today, date tomorrow, going somewhere next week. My intentions are to be 100% transparent, but I've never really had to have that conversation because I've never been a multi-dater. So.
Amen. But you let them know I got several windows open. Okay. You feel me? I got windows open.
Absolutely.
All right. I love that. So guys, I know that our audience has been so patient and so engaged. I just love to see everybody's faces and laughs. Are there any things that you all want to ask? You can just raise your hand. And then otherwise, we're going to have each and every one of our panelists give us a closing thought. And this actually was a question. So I'll just say it, and then you guys please feel free to raise your hand. But the question was, as a closing thought from each panelist, what general advice could you offer other singles who may be on a similar journey to yours?
So I think, especially for a lot of brothers, is the therapy, like getting therapy, understanding who you are, understanding your traumas, understanding what might be some barriers for you. And so their identity piece of it is so important. People say what they want, but for a lot of us, it's based off of a lot of superficial things initially, right? And then you get further involved, and you're like, man, like you start realizing you really like people who also have drive or wit or anything else that may come to the table. But I think initially though, you got to understand why you even like what you like to begin with. There's something wrong with it, or if there's a cause for that. And so I think that part is really important. So before you go out looking for everything else, I think like for me, I think I am in a a space now where I actually understand more about like even how I was raised, how that impacts what I look for. Coming from a family who's been married, you know, my grandparents 74 years, you know, so coming from that, you also then understand even how you look at things, how you relate to things, and even how you feel about certain things. And so that then change the way you even select people. And so because your selection process might be broken in itself, right? So, you know, until you fix that part, you won't meet the right person anyway.
I love that. All right, I want to hear from a lady. Ashanti, why don't you close us out? Give some advice for other singles who may be in a similar journey to yours.
Well, I would just say, enjoy the process. Like, have fun, embrace it, be very present. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't like stress out about it, but just really like engage, allow yourself to be, bring your, and I kind of hate this word, but be your authentic self. Be who you are. Like, don't have a representative. Just be you. And listen, me or anyone else, you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay. Like, it's all right. If that doesn't work out, there's other opportunities out there. And so I would just say again, enjoy the process, be very present, be engaged. If you're feeling it, hey, move in that direction. If not, it's okay. You can either bow out gracefully or send the message to be like, you know what, I think we're better off friends. But you try to obviously do it with tact and grace. But it's also it's just listen, just what we do know is that this whole thing again, it takes time. Matters of the heart are very serious. There you can do a lot for that, but it's one where you again, if you just enjoy the process, be very present, and not only just as in relationships and dating, this is just in life. And again, I try to live by that, and I try to enjoy myself and find humor and laughter in a lot of situations. And again, if it doesn't bring that to me, then I know it's not for me. So, and also alignment, just making sure that where you are, you're comfortable with where you are and like what's going on, what you're putting out there. So yeah, those are kind of my parting words. Just enjoy the process. Know what is for you is going to be for you. And so yeah, honestly, just enjoy it. So
Come on. I had to put them in the chat, okay? Date with a spirit of abundance. I just got that. Date with a spirit of abundance and not scarcity. There's plenty of options out there, okay? And Ashanti, I wrote down something that inspired that bow out gracefully as opposed to ghosting. We gotta ask the people who know how to bow out gracefully. How do you do that? Because it could be perceived as a ghost, no matter how graceful you bow out. I love that. I love that. All right, I'm ready to hear from you, Kristen.
Ashanti said it best. I mean, I agree with her. Know what you want. Know who you are. Know that it's okay. Uh, if something's not working for you, know it's okay to walk away. Have fun. I can honestly say, like, my 30s have been great. Dating life been has been cool. It's more of who you are, you know what you want, you know what you're gonna put up with, what you don't want, and just have fun, be honest with yourself. It's okay to still be single. It's okay if everything is not in alignment and where other people think you should be right now. Just again, enjoy the process. And again, like Ashanti said, if it's meant to be, it will be. There's no pressure, there's no rush, and it is okay to be present in the moment that you are now. So for me, that is single. So I'm gonna enjoy this my life and where I am, and yeah.
God, I love this. You guys are challenging my 60 word a minute typing skills because I'm trying to get all these nuggets while you talking. All right, I love it. Yvette, do you have any closing thoughts or advice for others on the self-love journey?
My personal journey is I'm recently single and I'm recently getting to know and understand and be in love with myself. So I think like that's the most important thing moving forward is know who you are, know what you want to deal with, know what you don't want to deal with, and honor yourself enough to know when things are not working as a stage left. And if they are working, see where it can go. So 100% get to know yourself, love on yourself, and be in tune with yourself.
Come on, y'all better have these nuggets. I love it. I couldn't even get that loud. I want to clap, snap, put the heart emoji, and type all at the same time. Okay, so let's see. Harry, oh wise one.
I'll just say life is about people. So, you got to get out and be around people and meet people. Your mate, your partner isn't gonna come knock on your door and look for
Mm.
you and find you at the house. So don't be afraid to get out and meet people. Um, Words are powerful, so watch the things you say. Um, if there are things that you want, I don't like to use the word pressure. I know we were talking about pressure earlier when we
Hmm.
were talking about the ladies and whether they felt pressured. I don't think you should feel pressured, but I definitely think that you should be, like we talked about earlier, intentional. And oftentimes, it's okay to be intentional about dating, but we take the intention away when it's, when the discussion goes to like kids. So if you want kids, if you want to be married and you want to have kids, don't be afraid to say that. And so that people know exactly where you're coming from and what you want.
Thank you. I love it. I put the okay. I put it all in the chat. Hans, go ahead and bring us home. Go ahead and bring us home.
um, wow, a lot of thoughts, man. Thank you to everybody that has shared, and thank you for this space. I'm all about community connection and healing and growing. So this has been a treat. So thank you for having me.
Always.
Two things come to mind um, as far as being single. First thing I'll say is just because, to my single people, like just because you're not married and in a committed relationship doesn't mean that you failed at life. Like first and foremost, like have you've had relationships. Speaking for myself, like I've had several relationships in my adult life, and I love all of those experiences, and I count them as value to my life. Just because I'm not married doesn't mean that I haven't had successful relationships. So I just think it's important to like not view your life through the lens of society's measure of success. And quite frankly, if we were living in the 20s, we would all probably be on our third marriage anyway. You know what I mean? Like they didn't engage in the type of relationships that we engage in without getting married, during that time. So, societal shifts can create different norm standards, but if you've ever been deep with somebody, then you felt it, and my thought is, if the world ends tomorrow, if you don't, have marriage, at least have some stories, like at least have something to talk about. Like at least be like, I dated this person, we were in love, like that's really the gift. The marriage itself, the institution, to me, that's not necessarily the end result of this human experience. Is really about saying that I've lived and loved, and I was loved at one point, So whether that nets out into, the major goal, then or again, that marriage, that would be great, but I just wanted to say that first. And in reference to like the journey of being single, for me, it's about alignment. And I think right now, given this circumstance that we're in, the last year was really about, realigning. And I mean, on a spiritual level, I like to believe that God had a hand in what's taking toll. So if you didn't get a message from what we just have gone through and the need to be aligned, then I think you might not be paying attention to how the world is moving right now. So with that being said, for me, I have a relationship with my journey. I love my life. I love my path. I love my alignment, and I'm just hoping that somebody will kind of join me on that path. Or where, it's just like, was Kenneth Hahn Park or something. If I'm walking and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, we walking together. So it's so that we won't have to do all of this heavy lifting and moving. It's like we're aligned. I mean, and again, I could go on. I'm trying not to be too long-winded, but you think about our
I help.
ancestors, yeah, that who my grandparents, our grandparents, they came from the same community. Like
Yeah.
my grandparents went to elementary school together, they went to junior high school, the same school.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, we're in a different space where we're meeting people coming from far and wide, so it's not easy, it's not easy to kind of like join paths with somebody, but alignment is key. If you're
Mm.
centered, like the brother said earlier, Onaje, knowing yourself,
Yeah.
being on that journey with yourself, and hopefully you find somebody that can take that journey with you and vice versa. So
This was amazing. I just appreciate you all. I appreciate the engagement. We did go a little bit over. I apologize, but I want to let all of you know how much I just appreciate your time. Panelists, you are amazing. I am definitely grateful. I knew I chose the right people for this. Thank you for sharing your experience. I love to hear what you all think. I'm probably going to get in the habit of sending follow-up emails because you all have given me such light and inspiration. And so I'm excited for the future episodes. We have so many planned for each month. So hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves. I certainly hope that you did. I'm going to post this two-part series because we don't want anybody to be watching the whole time. We want to get my amazing editor, Kay Brunt Media. By the way, Kim, thank you so much for all the awesomeness that you are and how you help bring this brand to the next level. So I'm looking forward to more Purpose Conversations. www.rhealism.com. Be on the lookout. Okay, alignment was my word for 2020, Han. So you hit it. So we have aligned on this evening, and I just want to say, have a wonderful night. And you guys are awesome. And I can't wait to see you next month. And thank you for your time.